My father served as a Navy signalman in World War II, and I've been thinking a lot about him as Joe and I plan to attend the 80th anniversary of D-Day in Normandy this June. That generation, the greatest generation, sacrificed so much to create opportunity for all those who would follow. The Bidens are a military family. Our son, Bo, also served for a year in Iraq as a member of the Delaware Army National Guard. And I saw how much Bo's wife, Hallie, and children, Natalie and Hunter, missed him while he was overseas. During Bo's deployment, Natalie's teacher hung a photo of Bo's unit outside the door of her classroom, so everyone who walked into the room would know that her daddy was away at war. That meant so much to Natalie, and it shows how everyone has a role to play in supporting our troops. It takes an entire community, and the Arizona Coalition for Military Families knows that well. It's what's at heart of your mission. Only 1% of our nation serves in uniform. It's a small, selfless group that defends the freedoms of this country. In 2011, in the midst of 2 wars, we started joining forces to support military spouses and children who had watched their loved ones return to battle again and again and again. Because even though military families may not wear a uniform, they serve our country too. Groups like the Arizona Coalition for Military Families were with us from the beginning. Thank you. We continue that work today. Those wars have ended, but the needs haven't. Our troops are still being deployed, and military families and veterans still need our support. My husband often says that we have many obligations as a nation, but only one sacred obligation: to prepare those we send into harm's way and to care for them and their families when they return. As president and as a military dad, Joe never loses sight of that conviction. That's why he's worked relentlessly to make sure our service members, veterans, and their families have the resources they need to thrive: mental health services, spousal employment, the PACT Act, affordable child care, support for veterans, caregivers, and so much more. Your president and I are so proud of this community, and that's why it makes us angry when some who have never served a day in their lives denigrate military service. That's just wrong. Our service members are brave heroes and selfless patriots, and you deserve nothing less than our unconditional respect, honor, and support. The path of service isn't an easy one, I know. Disruptive moves, missed birthdays and holidays, sleepless nights worrying about the safety of the person you love most in the world. But you do it anyway, because you love this country and want to protect it. Because when someone asks for help, you're the first person to lend a hand. Because you know that freedom isn't free. Nearly 51 years ago, the last American was drafted into military service. Since then, our armed forces, the world's finest, have been made up entirely of volunteers like you, everyday heroes who step forward, who sacrifice their own safety willingly and proudly so that others can be free. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your service. And thank you, Arizona Coalition for Military Families, for your support. May God bless our troops and their families.